Hey guys, so today we're making some Chicago Tavern Style Pizza. Please make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let's get started with the recipe. So I'm going to start by making the pizza dough. So I have about 3 cups of bread flour, which is equal to 360 grams. I'm also going to put in about 3 tablespoons of some cold butter. And then I am going to pulse this in my food processor just until I get like some pea-sized like clumps in there. And you could also do this by hand if you want to, or in your stand mixer, but a food processor seems pretty easy for this. And so you want it to resemble kind of like the texture of sand a little bit. And so now I'm going to add in some active dry yeast. So this is about 5 grams of some active dry yeast that I put in some water, and then in a separate cup I'm going to put some salt in this water. And I'm using this recipe from it's another YouTuber, and I'll be sure to list their information in the description box below. But I thought he made a really good or at least it looked good tavern style pizza. And so he said to do this step separately because salt kills the yeast. And so I'm gonna mix all of this together until it forms a ball of dough. And so you want to make sure that the water that you're using is ice cold, because again, you don't want to kill the yeast. And since this is kind of like a crispier crust, it's not going to be the same as any other bread dough that you make. And so I'm just going to knead this on a surface for about 2 minutes, and then I'm going to form it into a ball. And then I am going to place this in a bowl, and I'm going to let it proof for about 2 hours. And so again, this is going to proof in this bowl for 2 hours. So I'm just going to cover it with some plastic wrap and then a clean kitchen towel. And so I am doubling this recipe. So right here, this is just the one dough ball that I made. But you're going to end up seeing 2. And that's because I doubled the recipe because I want to make 4 different pizzas. But the original recipe just makes 2 pizza crusts. And so this is what it looks like after 2 hours. And so I am just going to cut this into 4 equal pieces. But if you are following the original recipe, it's only going to be 2. So you will cut it into 2. And I'm sorry if this is confusing, but I'll list all of the ingredients in the description box below. And so I'm just going to form 4 different dough balls with my pizza dough. And so I'm just going to fold it into itself and then kind of form this little ball. And then this is going to have to proof again for 20 minutes to relax the gluten. And so I'm just going to let that hang out with some plastic wrap, and I'm going to cover it with a kitchen towel and let that do its thing. And so this dough making process did take me a whole day to do, because you want the dough to kind of dehydrate a little bit in the refrigerator. And so after the 20 minutes, I'm just gonna roll my crust out, and it's supposed to make a 12-inch pizza crust. And so I'm just gonna poke a few holes in the crust so that it doesn't bubble up whenever I do cook it. And if you have one of those little fancy tools to kind of roll it across there to make the holes, you can do that. And so I'm just gonna put this on some parchment paper that I'm spraying with some non-stick cooking spray, and then I'm going to put a generous amount of yellow cornmeal on there, because that's what you traditionally see in Chicago style pizza. And so I'm going to place the dough on top of that cornmeal, and then this is going to go in the refrigerator for at least 4 hours, but preferably overnight. And so this is 4 different crust that I made. And so while that's doing that thing, I'm going to show you guys the pizza stone that my husband bought me off of Amazon. And so this was really neat. And so I did make this pizza prior to getting this pizza stone, and I just put it on the bottom of a sheet pan, which worked out well. But I was so excited to get this pizza stone because, you know, it looked a little fancy. And so this is the pizza peel to kind of get the pizza in and out of the oven. And it even comes with this ridiculously large knife to, it's like a rocker knife to cut your pizza easily. And I was very pleased with this purchase. And the brand is called Ritual Life, and I'll be sure to include that in the description box below if you would like to use my link to purchase this. And so this is the pizza stone, nice and cute. Yeah, you just put your pizza on there and cook it in the oven. I would say that it crisped the pizza up very well. Definitely worth the investment. And so back to the video. So I'm gonna make some homemade pizza sauce. So I have one 28-ounce can of some crushed tomatoes, and then I am going to add in about a third of a cup of some tomato paste. And so in the recipe that I'm following, they didn't cook the sauce, but I'm gonna end up cooking the sauce just because it just seemed weird not to cook it. And so I'm just gonna add in some salt, as well as some adobo all-purpose seasoning. And I don't care what seasonings you use, just make sure your food is not bland, because we don't want no bland food, y'all. I'm gonna put a little bit of some chili flakes in there, some dried oregano, and I'm going to put in some dried basil. You can add onion powder, garlic powder. I'm also going to add in a few teaspoons of some granulated sugar, and the sugar is necessary just to cut through some of the acidity with all of the tomatoes, and so you cannot skip the sugar, okay? And so after I put all of the ingredients in there, I am just going to blend it up with my immersion blender. And don't forget, and this is probably not necessary because you're going to put the fennel seed in your Italian sausage, but I added a little bit of some fennel seed just to have that, I don't know how to describe the flavor, but the fennel seed definitely is necessary, so make sure you find that at the store. So I'm just going to blend this in my immersion blender, or you can use a regular blender, whatever you want. And then I am going to heat this up on my stove and let it simmer for a little bit. But again, the original recipe, he did not cook the sauce, so I don't think it is really necessary to do so. And so next I'm going to make Italian sausage, even though it's technically this is already Italian sausage, but I'm just going to add some additional seasoning to it. But I'm using ground turkey Italian sausage, and so I'm gonna add in some salt, some pepper, some chili flakes, some fennel seed. You can add some garlic, and then you're gonna add in a teaspoon of some red wine vinegar. And so the original recipe, he used ground pork and just added these additional seasonings to make his own Italian sausage, or you can just buy Italian sausage from the store. No big deal if you don't want to do this, but I do think this fennel seed again is necessary because it just adds that additional pop of flavor. And if you've ever had a pizza puff in Chicago, the little seeds, that's fennel seed, and that's what gives it that unique taste. So you need that fennel seed. And so this is the next day. Or at least my dough is from the next, the previous day. I made it the day before. And so I'm just going to spread my sauce on top of my pizza, and you can put as much or as little as you want. You don't want too much to the point where it makes the dough soggy, I will say that. And so I'm just going to drop my turkey Italian sausage in little balls on here. You don't need to cook it prior because you're going to cook this pizza at a high temperature. So make sure your oven is preheated to 550 degrees Fahrenheit. I have never cooked anything in my life at that high of a temperature. But my pizza stone is in the oven. It's preheating to 550 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm topping this with some mozzarella cheese. You can do a mixture of mozzarella and provolone if you want, but I'm just doing mozzarella. And then I'm going to top this off with some dried basil leaves as well as some salt, because that is what the guy recommended, and his name is Brian Lagerstrom, and I probably didn't pronounce the last name correctly, so I apologize. But this is the finished product. My pizza cooked for about 12 minutes, but I would say check it after 10 minutes, and you definitely need to have some color on this pizza. And I'm just using this rocker knife to cut it into squares like they do in Chicago. And so this is the finished product, you guys. This was super delicious. I also made one with turkey Italian sausage and turkey pepperoni, which is this one. Well, it's actually this one. But anyway, I made 4 different pizzas. I even made one for my daughter that was dairy free. But thank you guys so much for watching my channel. Please make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. See you next time. Bye.